The following is a fan-based review. All materials discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, and Saban Entertainment.
Krispy Kreme donuts, do 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 do. Krispy Kreme donuts, da 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 da. Krispy Kreme donuts, my name Muffin. Krispy Kreme donuts.
He broke the mic. You. You should see the mic on that. Good God. Anyway, welcome back to Tokucast. Today we're reviewing the 2017 Power Rangers reboot movie.
I'm sorry, I just need a moment. I wasn't ready for that.
At least you weren't sitting next to him. I'm deaf in this ear now.
Hooray! I succeeded.
You going Salt Bay or Italian on us?
Well, welcome to Krispy Kreme, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay! Speaking of which, hand me the strawberry ones.
Yes, and hand me the raspberry ones.
We have donuts.
We have donuts.
I haven't eaten today, so this is perfect for me.
I had breakfast on the way here, so. So, the Power Rangers movie. They announced this, 4 years ago or something like that?
About 2, so.
It feels
I want to say it was 2015.
Yeah, or something like that, because I remember still working at my last job when I was hearing about this shit. But it's finally out. Mm-hmm. We saw it opening day.
I saw it Thursday night.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go one at a time, or
do we want to give quick non-spoiler thoughts first?
That's
right.
That's what I'm referring to. Who wants to go first? Yeah, we're going to start with the non-spoiler thoughts.
Marcus is eating, so I'll go first.
And we're going to go straight into spoilers. So, spoiler alert.
Okay. I'm going to open up by saying if they make a sequel to this movie, I will watch it. I will be okay with that because I like these characters. The movie as a whole,
I like that.
I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's because I went in with lower expectations because we've been here before. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't expecting but so much. I wasn't expecting to see the suits. No, I wasn't expecting to see the suits except for maybe the last third, which
happens.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting a lot of fight. I was expecting an origin story, which is what we got.
Yep.
That's my biggest problem.
You don't like...
That's one of my biggest problems.
Well, you got to start somewhere, unfortunately.
You do have to start somewhere, but that's the problem. If you have seen any origin story...
You've seen them all.
In the past, 7 or 8 years...
I blame Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I blame superhero movies as a whole, as much as I love them, as you can tell. But that's one of my biggest problems, is that you have seen this so many times before. It hits so many of the same beats that we are familiar with these kinds of movies, and it just feels old.
It does, I'll give you that, but I think what made it a little less, cringy for me is because we're not used to seeing it with this brand, with Power Rangers.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're not used to this kind of origin story with Power Rangers.
Now, did I hate the movie? No. I did not hate this movie whatsoever. I just didn't really like it.
There are a lot of things I really, really liked about this movie.
Same.
I think the biggest, I'm going to point this out. Did you know that the anniversary for The Breakfast Club was this past week?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
It is very much a John Hughes with superpowers.
And I love The Breakfast
Club. Yeah, what did I say when the trailer first got dropped?
Chronicle meets
Breakfast Club. What did we get?
Which is not entirely wrong.
That's basically what we got.
Except it's better than Chronicle, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But why don't we get into the spoiler stuff? Because I hate doing spoiler-free reviews because it's so much harder.
All right, so spoilers from here on out.
Spoilers from here on out. I want to start off. There was not a single character in this movie I can think of that I didn't like.
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing this movie has going for it.
I like the actors.
They did a great job.
I like the characters. I hated the script.
That goes back.
I hated the script. They give them some of the dumbest lines.
But you also remember that it's still trying to be that cheesy, campy 1990s.
No, but there's another big problem I have with this movie is tone. The tone of this movie is all over the friggin' place.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Does this movie want to be Power Rangers for kids, or does it want to be Power Rangers for angsty teenagers?
I was.
It does not know what it wants to be.
That's the problem with having a thing associated with Nickelodeon as a brand right now.
I was telling my fiance about this when we were at lunch yesterday. When it's weird to go from that bonfire scene where they're all spilling their guts, like Zach's, like my mom's.
The exposition dump.
My mom's dying, and
Trina's a lesbian,
and all of that.
Is she though?
It was never actually verbally confirmed.
She's confused.
Yeah,
that's what.
Well, I
we're
don't think that she's confused. I think she might be bisexual.
But anyway,
which is perfectly fine.
But
it's never brought up again, so we
also,
never know.
It doesn't matter. Anyway.
But it should if you want us to care about the characters.
No, I'm just saying whether or not she's one or the other doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is going from that to Rita in a jewelry store swallowing gold
which
necklaces.
was a hilarious scene.
And that brings me to one of my favorite things about this movie, which is Elizabeth Banks.
She
acted like she was in the old show. Everything about her performance just screamed Machiko Soga, Barbara Goodson, just eating the scenery and the jewelry
I love that
and
scene when
everything
she first
else.
attacks Trini. And she's like, oh, no, you're hurting me. Ow. It's just like, no.
That was a great scene. I would like to point out that there are bits from the trailers that were either edited to sound different,
or they cut it out,
or it was not in the movie at all.
Yeah, but that happens all the time.
I know, but there was
it doesn't make it any less
one
annoying,
scene in
but it still
particular
happens.
which was causing a lot of fan backlash.
The kiss.
That did not make it into the movie.
Between
Kimberly. That's the name.
That's their
Kimberly.
Ship name. It's canon.
Yeah, Jason and Kimberly's kiss from the trailer did not make it into the movie because I'm pretty sure people were like, no! Kimberly and Tommy! Also, I don't know about you, but when that after credit scene happened, our entire theater started screaming.
Really? Because when that after credit scene happened, I facepalmed.
It was obviously going to end up happening.
Yeah.
I knew there was going to be an after credit scene, but the fact that it ends in like a discount Ferris Bueller's Day Off kind of way.
Yeah.
It sort of does.
It really
does.
When it just ends with Tommy Oliver. I was just like, oh god, really?
But at least they made it a little different with Billy blowing up another classroom. But anyway.
He blew up it was his locker that blew
Speaking
up again.
of Tommy, that cameo.
Oh yeah.
There are two cameos.
With Jason
David Frank. JDF, Jason David Frank, and Amy Jo Johnson.
That's the thing.
And
that was, in my opinion,
well, here's the thing.
perfect.
It's perfect because
they didn't say anything.
It's enough for a wink to the audience who know Power Rangers, but it's not enough where it's like, look at me, and it just fit the narrative.
It's the definition of a cameo.
It fit the narrative.
Yeah.
And
the guy sitting behind me when I saw the movie was like, "Oh, JDF!"
Like we're bouncing around all over the fucking place. Why don't we start at the beginning? We start off with Jason. I guess he's stealing the rival team's mascot.
Yeah,
and he's trying to hide in their locker room or some shit. And it's Power Rangers starts off with a jerking off a bull.
Okay, that was one of the back to the tone problem. This was a huge problem I had because there were definitely kids in the theater when I saw this. Yeah.
PG-13.
When you're but PG-13, but your first joke is about jerking off a bull.
It's not a nutter, everybody.
No. Was it long? Did I have to use two hands and I had to do
We'll never talk about this again.
Oh god, it was awful.
I feel like when the jokes are written, most of them are written because they think that most of the people who are going to see this movie are people in their 20s who watched Power Rangers growing up. So they could get away with jokes like that. But yeah, I literally leaned over to him in the theater and went, this is Power Rangers starting off with a jerking off a bull joke.
It's literally like not even 2 minutes into the movie, and that is the first thing that you hear.
I saw that, and all I did was just...
But to be fair, that is one of the few jokes that didn't make me laugh. There were a lot of good jokes in this movie.
There are some and it's mainly because of the actors. By the way, happy birthday, RJ Seiler, Blue Ranger.
Happy birthday, man.
Speaking of him,
he was the best character.
He was great.
I love how Billy went from my least favorite character in the original Power now my favorite character. They made it. First off, when's the last time we had an autistic superhero?
I don't think, and I love the fact that they didn't make it like a gimmick. That wasn't like the focus of his character. I mean,
no, it wasn't.
It shows up, of course,
mm-hmm.
but it's just like I love the fact that they treated it honestly, and I think that was the thing that just.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Our friend Matt.
Yeah.
because he has Asperger's and he's just that. But
a lot more high function because Billy is extremely intelligent. He's a high functioning autistic person.
And I just love the moments where they're like trying to like, you knocked that douchebag out. Yeah, I knocked that. I can't say that word.
Yes.
That was so
like later in the movie when he goes, yippee-ki-yay,
Mother's fine.
Yeah. Mother's fine, yeah.
He was so great. He got most of the good jokes. He was the best character. Jason was also very good.
I feel like Jason was a little bit cut and dry. Because
he still had to be the leader.
You got the fact that he was the quarterback, and that sort of, set it up. He's, team captain for the football team, or at least he was. And then...
Before he was put on house arrest. I'm sorry.
Which apparently lasted for about 2 minutes. Which lasted for about 2 minutes.
They had to move past it for the story.
They had to move past it for the story, and that's why they had the scene of Billy hacking
That's me the glazed.
That's why they had the scene of Billy hacking it.
I want one of these.
Oh, God. Anyway. And then we meet Billy, Jason, and Kimberly, who... Kimberly is, being...
We are not sponsored by Krispy Kreme,
We are not. No, we are not.
Unlike the new Power Rangers movie.
Which we will get to, because, good God.
We are not sponsored by Krispy Kreme.
Best product placement ever. Moving on.
Not as good as Taco Bell and Demolition Man.
True.
I would like tacos.
Let's moving on. In this Breakfast Club Saturday detention type thing, we got Jason's dad, the guy from The Office in 13 Hours. Which is fun. And I love how, first off, I was reading reviews and watching reviews before and after we saw the movie. I saw a lot of fans' complaints is that the bully's name was neither Bulk nor Skull.
I'm sitting here like...
It was there.
I was fine with that.
I was fine with it. But I understand their frustration. Though, I remember, I think it was Jeremy Johns.
I haven't watched this review yet. But...
who said the two girls that are picking on Kimberly should be the Bulk and Skull of this movie. Just play the theme song in the sequel.
Andre also said that.
Huh?
Andre also said that.
Oh, no, that's what I was thinking of. Andre. And then that scene where he's picking on Billy and Jason literally just dodges punches and slaps him.
I'm sitting like, yeah.
Everyone in my theater pretty much had an orgasm when that happened.
Bam!
Because they were like, yes!
And he's like, no, there's the reaction of, did you just slap me? And he goes, yeah. Weird, right? He was such a
played
dick.
His character so...
They all did.
They
were all good.
Really, and I really like Kimberly. I think she might end up being my second favorite character.
Really?
In this movie. I just liked her a lot. I like her personality.
She wasn't that... I think it helps because she wasn't like the
Valley Girl
again. Because
we
got what Zordon asked for back in 1993. Teenagers with attitude.
She was more Mean Girl than Valley Girl.
Yeah. We got teenagers with attitude.
With actual attitude.
Actual attitude.
Maybe not Billy so much, but anyway.
No, he had a different kind of attitude. The kind of attitude that you need, like,
Billy
dedication to
befriends Jason for sticking up for him, and he asks, hey, I'll hack your anklet. Just if you take me to the gold mine where my dad used to work because he died. The fact that the word died, dead, and kill is said so many times in this movie that's associated with the Power Rangers was
as opposed to annihilate,
destroy, eliminate,
vaporize,
it's just
etc.
And I love he's like, my dad's been dead 7 years, 3 months, and 2 days now, and I'm like, okay, we're starting. Okay, it's gonna be this kind of movie. And so they go to the rock quarry where he blows up the wall.
Well, no. We end up meeting or seeing Zach and Trini.
Zach and Trini. Does Zach work there?
No, Zach is also a student at the school, but
he was wearing like a jumpsuit.
He was wearing... It's never really specified what he does.
The worst part of the fact is they cut out a few scenes for him.
But you have to sometimes.
Like he mentions, like after they get the coins... that he jumped over a house, which is shown in the trailer, but it's not shown in the actual thing. And I'm sitting here like, why would you not show that? They don't show the train scene.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's not in there either.
I'm sitting here like, why would you not show that?
It was probably just cut from the training montage because I feel like that's where it was.
Because I don't know, the Kanye West song that they use isn't very long, so they were only able to use with so much.
We'll get to the soundtrack later. Anyway, so Billy accidentally blows up the...
Not accidentally, on purpose.
He did it on purpose.
The timing was accidental.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work. Poof! Okay, that worked a lot.
And then he starts screaming. He's like, yeah, we got this. Billy, stop screaming. What?
Well, he was right next to an explosion.
And that's where they find the power coins. And Zach immediately tries to sell them. Just like, don't break it. Oh, he broke it.
Mm-hmm. And you get, like, Reed's a lot more exposition than I expected him to, especially because this movie really focuses on Kimberly, Jason, and Billy. And
I'm hoping Trini and Zach get more focus in the sequel.
Right up until they become Aisha and...
Moving on.
We'll
see.
We'll see. They might not do that.
Yeah,
I know.
But, because they don't have to worry about contract negotiations and all that crap. Anyway.
No, you still do.
Well, but not when it's a 2017, not 1993, and no one's getting picked on for being gay. But moving on. It's Power Rangers. We're
focusing on the wrong part of that. But
I know.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the mindset of the time period. But anyway, we digress. They get the power coins. They discover their civilian powers, which also let's talk about the fact that they get run over by a train.
Yeah.
And then no explanation is given to how they got home. Ever.
No.
I'm assuming that it's the teleportation ability.
I'm going to assume it was like Zordon or Alpha who did that.
No, I'm assuming it's the coins just trying to keep their holders
alive.
Yes.
Because you see the coins being able to teleport.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because you can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Literally.
They're also able to boil all the food.
That was great. But it's like, I think he's got it. He's got it. I got it. Bam! You don't got shit.
That made me laugh so hard.
Everyone, like, I had that awkward laughter of, oh shit. Kay? What?
I was like, movie, congratulations for subverting my expectations.
Yeah.
That was one of the good things about this movie. It
is,
sort of does that a few times. And I think that's
with a few different scenes in which we will get to. So they wake up, they have these civilian powers, and they're like, so we gotta go back and figure out what the fuck's going on. And then they all realize they can jump, and then...
They can jump high.
They can jump far.
Durability,
and...
Super strength.
Yellow doesn't want anything to do with these people.
Justifiably so. She has no idea who they are.
Jump down into a crevice. And...
No. They don't jump down into a crevice. Billy's dumbass leaps over. He starts like dancing in victory celebration that he got over the edge, and then he just falls over.
Called that.
I laughed.
He can vouch for me.
So hard when that happened.
I leaned over and said, and he falls back. Yep. Anyway.
I laughed so hard when that happened. It was
By the
great.
way, I also called
wait, because I know exactly what scene you're talking about, and it's great. I love this scene. It's pretty damn hilarious.
You're talking about the fireplace scene? Because I'm talking about where Billy explained how he got into detention, which called that, by the way.
The car.
I think all of us did during our initial trick.
Blowing something up.
He blew something up by mistake.
Anyway.
It's not explained how he did it, but he did it.
What did you think of that weird water entryway?
I thought that was cool.
It was cool, but I feel like they could have done something better.
It gave me one of the biggest problems I have with this movie.
About how long they stood in the water?
No. Well, yes, actually. That is it. That is precisely it.
How long they were in the water?
No. It's not how long they were in the water. It's how long they were in the water correlating to a scene that happens later. Do you know what I'm getting to?
Oh, the putty scene.
No.
Oh! No, because that other time was Rita.
No, that wasn't Rita. That was the water. He drowned.
No, that was Rita.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
She just dropped him in!
So they go through this water entryway, they find the command center, and then it turns into a scene out of Alien, where they're like, oh shit, hide! And then Alpha, who has tentacle arms apparently, grabs...
They made Alpha useful.
Okay.
They made Alpha useful.
You want to know two of the things that surprised me the most? I liked Alpha.
I know.
I liked Alpha.
Oh my god!
Not only did I like the voice. Bill Hader was great.
Bill Hader was great.
I liked the design. Seeing it in motion, I liked the design.
It was alright.
It made a lot.
I crapped on this thing so much in our early reviews, but in our trailer reviews.
I think it helped.
But both that and the Zords, surprisingly enough, seeing them in motion on the big screen,
and we will get to the Zords later because I have a lot to say about those. But moving on. Then they meet Alpha, who's giving them this, and I'm sorry, 5 kids, 5 colors, 5 different colored kids. I died at that line for some reason.
That was funny.
That was really funny.
5 different colored kids.
5 different colored kids. Oh my god. I did not expect to like Bill Hader as Alpha so much.
Let's go back for a second because we completely forgot to speak about this. The very beginning of this movie.
Oh, right. The prologue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
65 million years ago.
The reason, the fucking, exposition that Power Rangers has been kind of curious about since 1993. How did Zordon get in a tube? Was he a previous Ranger? Who the fuck is Rita Repulsa?
in this version of the mythology,
she's a former Green Ranger, which we get to see her suit, which was cool.
Pretty cool looking.
My only complaint about that entire thing was how Bryan Cranston.
Billy Cranston is the character.
Yeah. Bryan Cranston looks like Bryan Cranston as an alien, but like the Yellow Ranger we see just looks completely as something out of Men in Black.
Well, I mean, they're all aliens, so I mean, they're just from different planets in this case.
Because they look very similar.
Bryan Cranston is from the Bryan Cranston planet.
You gotta remember, the way that they ended up saying this is that the morphing grid makes the choice themselves. So they don't all have to necessarily end up being on the same planet to begin with. That just happens.
It just has to be a planet.
Their anatomy just looks very similar.
And that's also because I remember we saw somebody else got casted as another Yellow Ranger a few months back. I remember seeing this on Jeff Fusion. And it was that lady. She was the alien at the beginning who died. I'm
talking about more in the face. It's just she had a very alien-looking face. He just looked like Bryan Cranston with makeup,
with blue makeup on,
and
a couple of lines.
Just because I get it's a star.
He looked like a much bluer Vision.
Anyway, and then he buries them, and then he calls the meteor that
wiped out the dinosaurs.
Which
so that's how the dinosaurs died. It was Zordon,
and she gets knocked into the ocean, and gets separated from her power coin, which makes her drown, I guess.
Makes her drown and decompose.
Okay, but I thought it was cool. Getting that exposition as to, why he's in the wall, where this all started, and what the fucking goal is, other than, I want to take over the world. Just
speaking of which,
that's pretty much her goal.
The Zeo Crystal.
The whole movie revolves around the Zeo Crystal.
Which I enjoy.
A great thing. And that really ends up bringing up...
But you may as well just call the MacGuffin Crystal Gold, because...
Crystal Gold?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what young Crystal boys have below.
Steven Universe.
I do have one complaint about the Zeo Crystal, but it's not until much later in the movie, and we'll get to that. So yeah, they find the command center. Alpha, introduces them to Zordon. Zordon doesn't know where the fuck he is. So, more exposition.
I love there's this one, I love focusing on little things, but there's this one scene where Alpha tells them, they're speaking English. It's a primitive language. You'll find it in the database. Yeah. And you see Zordon head, tick to the side while he's, accessing the database. I thought that was great.
I like the way Zordon looked a lot.
I did like the way Zordon looked.
I also like the way he acted.
And I liked Bryan Cranston as Zordon.
Because he did not give shits.
Yeah, but can I just say, Zordon is a dick.
This Zordon don't give a crap about nothing.
This Zordon's entire goal
he has no trouble telling you that you suck.
Get out. Go home.
Get out. Just go home. You guys suck.
None of you can morph.
It's his entire goal is to get them to morph so he can then use that power to
the morphing grid
to get a body back so he can just do it.
Yeah.
Which
I get it.
But the fuck, man.
Yeah.
It was fucking Alpha was funny.
Alpha was funny.
Zordon wasn't.
They managed to work in a couple of times,
but
it didn't feel forced.
It didn't feel shoehorned.
It didn't feel. That's one of the things I liked about callbacks to the old show is that,
except for one or two.
Like what?
Make my monster grow.
No, I like that so much.
I love that
one.
That's so cheesy, but it works.
That's my thing. It was just so cheesy.
That line worked because of Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
Because of Elizabeth Banks, that line works.
That entire character worked because of Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, the casting in this movie was just spot on.
It was very good cast.
I love they have some other callbacks to previous shows. I remember in Billy's... on his shelf and everything, there's the baboon and the other one from the original show.
Oh, are they really? I didn't see that.
They're on there. And during one of the scenes when they're actually fighting everything, there's callbacks to Mariner Bay and Reefside.
Yeah, his dad was like, "I'm on Mariner and Reefside," and me and
which is Lightspeed Rescue, and I think that's Dino Thunder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
which is cool, and it's not. It's enough for people who are seasoned with Power Rangers to go, oh, but not shove it in your face. I'm an Easter egg. It's which I think, I can't even think of the modesty with some of this movie was a bit surprising.
It helped.
It helped a
lot. I love the fact that this movie did not feel in your face.
It wasn't just fan service for one thing.
Except for one bit, but it was fine. The Zords. And in the third act, when they get the Zords out, and then they play the original 1995.
Yeah, but I was fine with that, and so was everyone else in the theater because people started clapping and cheering because it's just like it was in the show.
No dubstep, no remix, no auto-tune.
This is the original movie's Go-Go Power Rangers,
and it was just awesome,
and it sounded great. Hearing that blaring out of the speakers,
I really liked the soundtrack. Well, mostly for this movie.
Oh god, I did not.
I loved Kanye West.
I hated.
I just love.
I hate modern pop music, and that's like all the soundtrack in this.
I hated two songs. Two songs. Make Your Hands Clap and the training montage, which I thought made no sense. And except for that one bit with Billy and Alpha, and they clap to the clap. I'm like, okay, was that all for that one joke? And fucking Kanye West.
I love that song. I hate him as a person, but I like his music.
I like it better at that moment in the movie, in the third act, the climax, as opposed to the training montage.
Slow motion walk. They did bring back some of the, speaking of that, some of the cheesiness after they actually finally morph and do say it's morphin' time.
They say it's morphin' time, cheesy. They have the quips during the fight with the putty, heads up, and they knock the heads into each other. At least it was short.
It's not that. It's the fight scene in general I have a problem with.
Because it was too short?
It's not that, well, for one, it was too short. For two, it was horribly edited.
Yeah.
Dean Israelite does not know how to do ramping. Where it gets slow and then it speeds up again. He doesn't know how to do that very well. There was a craft to doing that.
It felt jerky.
It just... The editing... one of the biggest problems I have with this movie is the editing. It's kind of choppy... And especially in the fight scenes, it just feels like the camera is too close. The cuts are a little too quick.
Editing doesn't bother me.
I feel like the movie was moving a little bit.
I like to be able to see what's going on.
I feel like the movie was moving a little bit too quickly in some cases.
It's
like they were just, hey, we're in this scene, now we're in the next one. I mean, they'll have slow moments.
There's a couple like the scene where Kimberly and Jason are running through the woods in the beginning of the movie. It felt like a scene out of a found footage movie.
Yeah,
which is what his last film was.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, it still worked. But I mean, especially in the action scenes are the biggest issue I have with this, because you would think they would end up having some scene earlier where they morph.
We will say there's no action in this movie until the final third.
Except for the training.
That's a training montage. That's not an action scene.
And that first time where they end up trying to beat Rita.
Oh yeah.
Which lasts 30 seconds.
Because there was a scene earlier where Billy actually ends up finding out where the Zeo Crystal is, and it's at Krispy Kreme.
It's buried underneath the Krispy Kreme.
So I don't know what kind of money Krispy Kreme paid for this.
That Krispy Kreme money, that's what they paid him.
But damn.
I don't think I have ever, in a Power Rangers anything, heard them say the name of a restaurant so many times within a certain frame of time.
I think Andre the Black Nerd said Juice Bar is out of business.
Juice Bar is out of business. Now it's Krispy Kreme.
Is this place...
Speaking of which, hand me the crawlers.
No, I like the scene where they're tied up and she's interrogating. It's like, it's at the Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme? Is this a special place? Yeah, very special.
And I love the look because she's about to kill Zach, and then Billy tells her. And the look on Zach's face is like, Really?
Oh, okay. So why don't we get to this? The scene where she interrogates them and says, Zordon will not respect me if I don't kill you. At least one of you. If I don't kill at least one of you. And then drops Billy into the water.
It's so weird how that scene is edited, because for me, it looked like she hit him with something.
It looks like she just drops him into the water. And then it cuts to them immediately pulling him out.
It looks like two separate scenes.
And
because to me, it looked like she actually hit him with something and then they dropped.
There you go. The editing is a problem.
I love the line that she says, Zordon will not respect me if I don't kill one of you. And as she's walking away, she hits him and drops.
Too, though. but then, and this is another thing that infuriated me, you see Blue fighting in suit in the trailer.
Yeah.
So we know he's gonna make it, and you have to play this slow cover of Stand By Me, aerial shot of the four of them carrying him to the command center.
I feel like
I wanted to punch that movie in the face when this scene happened. I was so angry.
Well, if you don't put the trailers into account, if we're just going by the movie, you don't expect that. You don't expect them to kill off somebody in Power Rangers.
I do expect it when okay, here's the thing. For me, it didn't look like she hit him with anything. It looks like he just fell in to the water. You were just in the water for how many before you found the command center and you were totally fine?
Which makes me think that she
I refuse to believe that is true. Made me so mad.
Anyway, I'm talking about from a storytelling standpoint, not an editing standpoint.
That's the thing. That continuity bit is what ruins it for me too.
I still really like this movie though.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Before we do, because somebody has to die, but it's just part for the story they made, that death was necessary so that Zordon can believe in them. And that is why they get access to the morphing grid and can finally morph, because now that one of them has died and they're given a second chance, they've agreed they will die for each other. They will trade each other's lives for that. That makes them a team, and then that gives them the morphing grid and the ability to morph. So
the inconsistency still made me mad, but you do bring up a good point.
Yeah, I understand.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I understand, and I'm sorry. That's just a pet peeve of mine.
That's fine.
And I understand the editing and makes an inconsistency, but there's always inconsistencies in movies. There's no such thing as perfection. I'm just glad the movie didn't, like, completely suck like the last Power Rangers movie that they made, which we will be reviewing. Sorry, we will.
The Zords.
The Zords. Can we talk about the scene where Zach goes on a joyride?
When we get to those characters...
Can we talk about the bus full of nuns that he almost runs over? I'm sorry, why did this turn into the Silver Age of comic books?
I love
There are no vans full of nuns driving around the country anymore.
I love the...
If there are, send me a picture and I'll believe you.
I love the cheesiness of this.
You can send it to Twitter.
Send it at the Tokucast on Twitter and we will believe you.
So...
hilarious,
cheesy, and so Power Rangers. I was happy with it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I was sitting here like, this is the most bullshittiest thing.
Yes, it is.
But I love that scene
because it's the bullshittiest thing.
I was sitting here like, really? It's like the power of Jesus is in that car for them to not hear it.
Or beat canceling headphones.
They were singing, so I guess they were singing loud enough.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Nuns.
That was great. The actual Zords, though, seeing them in motion definitely does end up helping a lot.
Especially when, Billy's is driving his backwards.
Yes, I love that at the beginning when that first happens. Then he turns it around. Yep. But I still love that scene. I love how almost every single time he's like, Jason, I'm driving backwards. What's happening?
I love how we got a lot more individual Zords. I feel like in the lore of this universe, there was no Megazord. That wasn't a thing.
Which is sort of weird
with
because
Zordons.
of the fact that Goldar looks a lot like the Megazord.
Yeah, unless it's the other way around.
I honestly don't know exactly how that scene works because it seems like they do exist because of the fact that Goldar looks so much like the actual Megazord. And the fact that it's itself.
Technology and it's possible.
Yeah, but it's just like with Rita's reactions, just saying how. I mean, that's one thing I sort of got confused on. It's really just because of the fact that Goldar looks so much like the Megazord. Again, Rita shouldn't be that surprised.
Again, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the tech again, because this wasn't explained in the movie. For fuck's sake, it could be a deleted scene. Maybe the technology to make it is there, but or these aren't exactly completely mechanical based. Maybe they can evolve as well.
Speaking of which, that actual scene when they morph into the Zord for the first time.
The fact that you don't see it?
Yeah, it's all one, bathed in lava, two,
bathed in smoke,
and fire. It's just like...
And the most you see is some gears and shit moving on the back.
I'm serious. That's the one thing I sort of really wish that this movie actually did, is we actually got to see them merge into it.
Well, I will say, one thing I did love about the Megazord is the way they work as a team to move it.
Yes. That was one thing. We were walking out of the theater and somebody, I think, was complaining that it's like, in the original show, they all move into one cockpit. And I'm like...
Which, this time around, they make it more like
Q Ranger. It's a much sleeker design.
They make it more
like Q Ranger.
Everybody's on the outside of the Zord itself.
And everyone is on the... And not only that...
The
moment they had to figure out, okay, I have this arm, you have that arm, and you have that, like... What's Jason doing?
Yelling at people.
Basically.
He's the brain.
He's the head.
He's the head. But I think that's really cool.
And I'll form the head.
Also, they brought back the wrestling move they were taught in the training montage, which in the Megazord was not as cool. I feel like doing that.
It was so blah.
Also, we'll speak about this just because of the fact that this is much more of an actual Power Rangers thing in general. Okay, we get it. Jason has a sword, but the rest of the team have their own separate weapons. Where were they?
They were not in the movie.
At all. Like, there's
and
no lance, no axe,
the
no
toys
daggers.
they're selling is just the sword again.
Another thing I want to bring up, they have one fight scene in suit on the ground, and it's like less than a minute.
Yeah.
The longest fight scene in the action scene in the movie.
You get the underwater fight scene, and then you get up, and then they're actually fighting on land, and that's literally it for in-suit.
And that's it. And that is the only time you see them in suit, helmets fully on.
Except for when Jason gets out of his Zord to save his dad.
Yeah.
Which makes you think that his dad knows exactly who he is.
Yep.
Yeah, probably because he heard his son's voice.
Or, he said his name.
That too.
I still think it's cool that when he went to go save his dad was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. No. And it took till Tom. Come on.
Or Sam, whatever his name is.
I think it was Sam.
I thought it was Tom.
I think it's Sam.
Whatever. Something ends with an
Oliver.
M. Just like, dude, let's go.
But yeah, the longest action scene in the movie is the end where they're trying to stop Rita from going to Krispy Kreme with Goldar.
The scene where she's in the Krispy Kreme with the
Where
donut.
she's just like, food. His name is Sam.
Damn it. Okay. And then Goldar punches. Also, that's a lot of gold. I'm glad that wasn't in. I'm glad that wasn't in the fucking Zord like it was shown in the trailer.
But the end of this movie is fine. It's like all of them in the Saturday.
It turns into the last 30 minutes of Transformers 4.
Which I love. They made a Transformers joke.
Because
sorry, Bumblebee.
Yeah, he steps on the car.
He picks it up and throws it at him.
I literally said, no, not Bumblebee, and then Jason went,
sorry Bumblebee.
I'm like, ha!
I was like, oh, okay, so you knew.
Why do I feel like that was written in after the suits were revealed?
Like, I am
and
now
or after the Zords were revealed?
I just had to look at your face, because you were like, I am so vindicated right now.
With my joke, yes. I also love
I thought the same thing, but I didn't say it out loud.
I love the moment where they're like, Jason's like, hold on, we have swords too. I'm like, okay, that works.
I guess you just knew that.
He's like, they're sharp. Stab.
I mean, to be fair, you do see them actually connected to the actual Zords, because like that thing comes out of them like Gundam, the most recent one, Iron Blooded Orphans. So you just see them.
He's like, let's try this. Oh, that worked. I like how they turned the Power Zord into Twin Blades. I honestly like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Zords a lot better in the movie than I did because we're seeing them like completely. Mm-hmm. The T-Rex actually looked like a T-Rex. I just did not. I'm sorry. It looks small from what we're used to. Like with the show and stuff, they look so much smaller. They're like maybe 2.5 stories tall. That's it.
Yeah.
And for Zord, when you say that's it, that means something. It's just...
Angel Grove is also a much smaller town.
Yeah.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The 2 stories tall is the tallest building in Angel Grove.
But that, like, cityscape shot when they're talking on the cliff...
I don't think that's Angel Grove.
Yeah, I think that's another city on the other side.
I also like that entire thing of, I have a van. That's creepy. It's not that kind of van. Every van's that kind of van.
I drive a minivan, so I was like, wait a minute.
The whole thing,
what's that supposed to mean?
I think Angel Grove is legitimately a suburb.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
The way that they end up setting up everything. Because on the other side of the quarry is a bigger city with a whole bunch of lights. And apparently that's where Kimberly lives, or she lives on the outskirts.
Yeah, she lives on the
But she still ends up going to Angel Grove with the rest of them.
But, and then you get when they beat Goldar, she walks out, Rita's still not giving up, jumps up at them, and Jason's like, I have an idea, bitch slap her.
And she goes
into space.
Near the moon.
Near the moon.
And the moon is in the background as she's going into space.
And you see her, her smile or smirk or something right before she's frozen.
I still love did you slap her? Yeah. Weird, huh?
Back to the beginning.
And I love how Billy's like, y'all
I got that.
I do.
I got you, buddy. I got you, buddy. Billy was...
RJ Seiler, congratulations on
let's
being
go
one
ahead
of the best
and get
Blue Rangers
into
ever.
the characters.
Because then they have, the generic falling action of, you're Power Rangers now. You're gonna live, you're in all that. The voiceover.
I like Jason.
I like all the characters.
I really like Kimberly. I love Billy. Best character.
Billy was the best.
Trina was fine. Of course, it really didn't end up doing anything.
They didn't do really anything with Trini or Zach.
Let's talk about Zach really quickly. Ludilin is fine as his character, but there are some moments, like I love the moment that he has with his mother. I love the whole campfire scene.
I love we have a Power Ranger that speaks Chinese.
Yes, he speaks legitimate Chinese. I love, the whole campfire scene with them, but I have one big problem with Zach, and I told you about this when we were watching the movie.
What is this?
There's that whole scene where they're like holding the line, and they're like all screaming. Everybody's like, ah! And Zach's like, ah! It was so monotone and underwhelming.
I think he was trying to do that, but also trying to keep that I am kind... Because he also passes out from the heat and the smoke. So I'm thinking he was trying to balance that to make it seem like...
No, but this was happening before that.
Oh.
He's just like, ah...
This is when they're all just at the edge of the pit.
Yeah.
So
it's like he has the most underwhelming scream.
I don't want to know what the pit is.
Just...
Why is there always... Also... Why is the Zeo crystal buried like 7 feet underground?
That's actually a very good point. You would think
they buried it next to Parallax.
But
you think it would be deeper than that?
After 65 million years, you think it'd be deeper than the shin of the Zord.
You think somebody else would have found it when they're
building the city.
When they were building the foundations for Krispy Kreme and putting in all the piping and everything.
It's like, I wonder what this green glowing thing is. Must be a whole bunch of extra glaze, and they just went with that.
But
that's why Krispy Kreme is so popular.
That's why
it's because of the
Zeo crystal. They use it in their glaze.
Now we will end up saying this because of the fact that Haim Saban said that they are planning on making
because I am 6.
Well, Haim Saban is his name.
Yeah, making 6 movies.
It's not on what we can't unhear it.
We're really wondering exactly how this is going to end up going. Further on.
I'm gonna say let's wait and see how this one does first.
I know because obviously the next one's going to be in the Green Ranger and maybe the White Ranger.
Yeah, that's the thing. Are the green and white going to be separate movies, or is it going to be green then white?
Is it even going to be the same person?
Probably.
I feel like
they can change it if they want.
They can if they want. I feel like what they could do, and I just thought of this, is that he starts off as an evil Green Ranger, but when he becomes good, he becomes the White Ranger.
Which would be great because you have the Dragon Zord as being a thing.
I don't want that to happen.
But you also had to remember how
they have a lot less time to do that.
You also had to remember how the White Ranger works, considering the fact that he's from an entirely different series. And I understand they can, make the Zords all end up working together, but you legitimately have to give them a whole new set of Zords for that to work.
Sure.
Just like they did with some Zords, and maybe they'll just end up upgrading the suits. We had Zeo Crystal, so that's already part of the lore. More than likely, one of the movies is going to end up being Zeo. They might just skip them Turbo altogether, I wouldn't blame them. And then go to In Space, and that'll probably just end up being where the whole series ends up ending. Just because that was the Zordon era, everything else after that was just technically its own.
The thing about the whole Green with Evil thing, I don't want them to do that because I want them to do something different.
Fair enough.
I don't want them to just copy and paste what we've seen in the show.
The one thing I really want them to do, if they do a movie based on In Space, don't make Astronema the main villain. Make the Psycho Rangers the villains.
That would be cool.
Oh. I can dig it.
That would be amazing.
I could dig it.
I want that.
But we're thinking way far down the line for that.
But this movie was still good.
This movie was still enjoyable.
Definitely go see it.
Definitely.
I really like it.
Especially if you like the Power Rangers growing up. Definitely.
If you grew up with Power Rangers, I'm going to say go to what, matinee?
Save yourself some money.
Save yourself some money.
See, the thing...
Still see it, but save yourself some money.
I really liked it. I think it's just because I went in with such low expectations.
Just yes, all of my expectations have been
I didn't like it as much as these two, but, yeah.
Because I would... If we're going by my... one of my favorite, grading systems is the Jeremy Johns review, I would say this movie is worth buying on Blu-ray. If you liked it as much as I did. I
was planning on actually doing that. When it came out.
Jeremy Johns said it's a good time, no alcohol required.
I'd say it's good if you're drunk.
No alcohol required. But yeah.
But I think it was really well done for what it was given.
Yes.
From the source material they had to go with.
Yes.
I think the acting expectations blew me out of the water. They all did great jobs, great casting, and I feel like they have the grounds for a great sequel. Because now they don't have to focus so much on their origin story. They can just do the fight scenes and focus on, fighting.
Green.
They can have more fight scenes.
Yes.
Focus on Green. And Zed, probably.
Zed, yeah. Bring Zed into
Zed
this.
is a possibility.
Because If there's a male equivalent of Elizabeth Banks playing Zed, I want to see it.
Okay, who is male equivalent of Elizabeth Banks? Who do you want to see?
Well, I've heard.
No, I want to ask. Who do you want to see? Who
would you want to play
as Zed?
Oh no. I don't know. For some reason, I keep thinking Alec Baldwin.
No, that's.
I'd actually be okay with that.
Yeah, I would actually be okay with that one.
Alec Baldwin
I feel like he could do creepy evil very well.
He could. I also feel like
playing Trump.
It's a Tokucast getting political.
Saturday Night.
Saturday Night.
Shut up.
Saturday Night Knife.
Anyway.
Yep.
I don't know if they want to do creepy or if they just want to do menacing, because Elizabeth Banks has got creepy. I'm thinking, I can't remember his name, the guy who plays Negan in Walking Dead right now.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Morgan.
I think he would do good.
Okay.
I can see it.
And he'd have a monster named Lucille.
Michael Shannon.
I'm bad with names.
General Zod from Men of Steel.
Ooh. Maybe.
I feel like Jeffrey Morgan went.
Let us know who you want to play.
I think all three of them are good choices, though.
Let us know who you think should play Zed.
Especially like fat Alec Baldwin as Lord Zed. I think that would be so amazing.
But yeah, let us know who you think should play Zed. And also, let us, if you have any ideas on who should play Tommy, because they haven't casted him yet.
They have not.
And let us
probably hear something about that next year.
Yeah. And also let us know what you thought of the movie. Have you seen it yet? What do you think? And as always, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Like our Facebook page. We will see you guys next time with the next review, because we're doing Turbo, a Power Rangers movie.
Actually, the next review is going to be Go-Go 5.
No, we're going to be doing Turbo eventually.
At some point.
Soon.
Maybe.
Stab myself.
If we feel like it.
I feel like it.
Go-Go 5! Bye, everybody!
Bye, everybody.
Go Krispy Kreme.